Well. How's it going, Alan?
Good, man. How about you?
I'm good. You're looking like Al tonight. You're all red. Must be on a different camera. See some wide angle action going on.
Yeah, we're working on some stuff. That's all.
Seeing more of your house, more of your
Yeah,
stuff in the background.
yeah. It's mainly pretty much right now. It's almost all Mandy. I think I put a Superman over in the corner, but that's it. Like that's the only thing that's mine. Everything else is hers.
Just some set dressing for tonight.
Yeah, that's out.
Yeah. How's your week so far?
Uh, it's been pretty good. I'm actually like moonlighting at another office for the week, so I'm getting to know a whole new group of people. Um, they're short staffed, so I went over to help them out for the week. So
Yeah.
it's been all right. It's been an adventure, we'll say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take that for what it is. I won't pry. Yeah, Ryan should be joining us any minute now. He was having some camera issues, so he had to back out, but he'll be back hopefully. But not that you asked, but my week's been going okay. I went on a little mini vacay this weekend, so got to go hang out with some family that we don't see that often in Savannah, and then spent some time with my folks in Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Now,
Yeah. So got to see a movie this weekend. I'll talk about that later, I guess.
I watched a little video about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of you.
Checked it out.
It's very kind of you.
I'm one of your views.
Thank you. Yeah, it's weird doing those things solo, but I was like, the guys aren't going to see this. Might as well just knock this out. So yeah. I gave it my best.
I had we had the opportunity to go, and take the kids, I would have done it then, but I don't know. It's one of those. Cal likes to run around a lot during movies, and it's really got to be something special to keep him in his seat. Like No Way Home or Endgame or something like that, or Zack Snyder's Justice League. But I didn't think Sonic 2 was going to be able to pull that off, and
yeah. Well, your kid's a little bit older than my kid.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, while we wait on Ryan, I guess we can go ahead and get some formalities out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So please hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, all that jazz here on YouTube, so you know when we're streaming. And share us with your friends, please. We would love to see some other people in here. Appreciate all you guys tuning in that do and that don't catch us live, dropping stuff in the comments. Do that. We try to answer as many of those as possible. But yeah, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and we are also on Patreon. Just search at CiNEMACHiNE Pod, and you'll find us there. Yeah, we're going to be mostly active, though, in the CAPECAST front on the Twitter side of things. And then CiNEMAChine is more active on Instagram. But let's start with some news, Alan.
Cool deal.
So, you know what? I'm going to wait on this one because I know Ryan's going to have some things to add, I think. So I'm going to skip this first one. We'll go straight to the second one. But so the Batman is hitting physical media not too far from now. It's going to be on HBO Max, which we'll get to in a second shortly. But it's interesting because they're going to be doing some exclusive features for the physical release, which is not usually the case for home releases these days. As of the last 4 or 5 years, you've seen a big kind of migration of studios pushing the digital stuff first and kind of letting given like a 2 week to a full month or more buffer between digital and physical to try and push, because obviously it's cheaper for them to put out digital. It's instant, and there's no actual production involved in making the thing, so to speak. So yeah, it's interesting that this go around you're getting some exclusive content that's only going to be on the physical releases, and it seems to be as you would expect. It's there's not a lot of like detail as far as what it entails. They give the titles of what it is, and I'm not going to read it because it's like a lot of it you can kind of figure out what it is, like anatomy of the car chase. Okay, you kind of know what that means. But then like the Batman Genesis, I guess it could be some sort of like behind the scenes, how they kind of came up with this specific story. I doubt they're going to go into, well, it started out as a Ben Affleck project, and then it kind of, all this stuff went down, and then we ended up handing the reins over to Matt Reeves, and everybody thought that, Matt Reeves is directing Ben Affleck in a Batman movie, and it's not going to go into all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, because I don't want to rehash that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm so brokenhearted over it. I just can't do it anymore.
We rehash it enough on our own. We don't need some studio doing it for us.
This is true. Yeah, so that's cool. I'm glad to see that they aren't skimping on physical, at least with this release, because a lot of studios have done that as of late. As a person who kind of eats up a lot of physical content and prefers buying things on physical, it's good that some studios or directors, maybe this is a director-driven thing, it's a Reeves thing, because I know that he will put out like whatever kind of publicity trailer that's been coming out for the Batman. He's always pushed it to Vero, because Vero is higher quality than YouTube. And so he's always kind of pushed people over there. So he seems to be one of those people that kind of appreciates the higher quality nature when it comes to seeing the best version of these movies, which is why, you see a lot of pushes for like IMAX and Dolby Cinema and all that stuff on his part. But yeah, and I mean, you're just not going to beat physical media right now when compared to streaming. No matter how fast your internet connection is, you're going to get a lot of artifacts and a lot of compression regardless, even if it's in 4K. It's pretty cool. Like David F. Sandberg did a thing on Twitter or Instagram a couple of years ago where he compared his release of Shazam and showed like it was like a TV version, maybe 1080p Blu-ray, streaming 4K, and maybe physical 4K, or I can't remember there was. I think there's like 3 different sources of the same scene, and you could see that there's the regular Blu-ray looked far superior to the 4K streaming, just because it was an uncompressed source versus, even though you're getting technically 4K resolution when you stream, you're still going to get a lot of compression. And so I say all that to say this. I'm glad that they aren't skipping on physical for some projects these days. And this being one of them, even though it's maybe not my most anticipated home video release, I am happy to see that some directors at least are pushing to have some extra goodies that are exclusive to people that want to spend, because it does cost more. Now it's not like for a while there, it was getting to where, Blu-rays are like, like new releases, $15, day one. Now they're climbing to like 25, 30 day one, even just for regular Blu-ray. There's the MSRP is what they're selling for. They're not really doing sales as much until you get to like Black Friday. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. Do you have any? So you haven't even seen this yet.
That's what I was going to say. Next Tuesday, I'll be able to talk about it because I'm watching it on Monday when it comes out.
There he is. Hey, Ryan.
I made it.
You look so much more horizontal
stretched.
No elastic man there. There you go.
Yeah. We were just talking about the physical release. We skipped the first story just because I figured you'd want to chime in on it. But we're talking about the Batman physical release coming out, the exclusive goodies that are going to be.
You continuing your Steelbook collection, Alan?
I don't know. I do actually like that Steelbook art that they went with. You know, I like it better.
You can't tell. You can't see the suit.
Yeah, I like it better than the Steelbook that's sitting next to me right now. But
when I was looking at what's going to be available for the physical releases, I was like, that Steelbook is the one that I prefer, just because it is less suit. It's more silhouette, and I can stomach it a little better. But yeah. Yeah. Do you have any comments, Ryan, besides our usual digs on the suit?
No, I won't be buying a Steelbook, that's for sure. I'll buy the movie, but I won't be buying Steelbook.
I guess the topic isn't necessarily the Steelbook; it's that they're going to have exclusive content for the physical release that might be on digital, which is rare.
Gotcha.
Well, I know we're going to talk about the movie later. I won't get into it till then, but
that David F. Sandberg little like comparison thing that he did a couple years ago, showing physical and streaming, that kind of thing. It's a good reference.
Do not know on Batgirl. I imagine it. Who knows? The Flash thing really messed the Keaton stuff.
You have to think that they never, to my knowledge, they never announced it got pushed, but it has to have been pushed if they're pushing Flash.
It has to at least go past the Flash. Yeah, it has to at least
go
past the Flash. Yeah.
You never know. They could just.
You really don't. Maybe
they could just.
They don't know. They don't know. You know, why would we know?
Whole Discovery merger thing. They'll be like, you know what? Let's just keep this one in the can. Never let it out. It's fine.
And then down the road, there'll be a Release the Batgirl show, a campaign on Twitter.
Maybe.
They did. They actually, speaking of, pushbacks, I know we don't have it on our list, but they were doing the Flash, the Fastest Man Alive, like prequel comic.
Saw that, yeah.
And it got pushed. It didn't get canceled. They actually said that it got pushed. They didn't want to release it now, and then the movie doesn't come out until April of next year.
Right.
They didn't want people forgetting in that time frame, so they're going to hold it till closer to time, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
like 2 weeks. So, like, they're already, apparently, from what I'd seen, they had already printed, the first issue, because it's 2 weeks away from coming out. So,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Sounds like a valuable comic down the road with the wrong release date on it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. If I could get a hold of one of those errors, man. And plus, it's got Affleck in it as well as Batman.
Affleck, the duck.
Yeah, Affleck. But he's apparently it's him training Barry, so I'm kind of excited just to buy that.
Yeah. Well, now since we're on the topic, this is not in my show notes, in our show notes, excuse me. But
they're pretty much
they're your show notes.
Okay. We did get wind this weekend, maybe, that Jeremy Irons is supposed to reprise his Alfred in the Flash.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
And I don't know. It's good. Maybe it's good. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I'm glad that he's back, but I still don't trust. I still don't trust the intention of this movie.
Brandon, I sent this link to Brandon, and he sent me a text back of a GIF. Basically, it was along the lines of like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. This fandom at this, it's been that way for a while now, but especially right now, it's like it's hard. It's very hard. It's hard to know what to think. But I mean, I obviously, I adore the Affleck Irons, Bruce and Alfred relationship. I think it's the best of any of those on screen. So I'm excited to see him back because Irons is he just brings so much weight to that role. Are you tired, Alan? Am I boring you?
Dude. No, go ahead.
It's okay.
He bores me too, Alan.
It's okay, man. It's all right.
I'm fine.
But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited that it's back. So what's up, Nani?
G's in the
What
house.
None.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I've actually been slowly watching. I've been watching Zack Snyder's Justice League with a buddy of mine, the one that Brandon and I always tell you about, who likes to just like rip on it and get under my skin, the whole Snyderverse thing. And he's since it came out, he's been like, "So when are we gonna watch it, man?" I'm like, "Screw you, I'm not watching that with you. Like, I know what you're gonna do."
Yeah.
And then I don't know. We were listening to records one night, and he was like, "So we're gonna watch this thing or not?" I was like, "Screw you! All right, we're putting it on." So we watched the first part one night, and he texted me the next day. He's like, "I'm actually kind of interested to see where this thing goes." I was like, "All right, that's a win." So, but my point being,
keep your guard up, Ryan.
Yeah, I know. We watched parts 2 and 3 this last weekend, and there's a lot of Alfred in those 2 parts.
Yeah.
He's just great.
What's the deal, man? Just tell him, just can't commit to the full run. Just got to break it up. What's going on?
It's the only way I could get him to bite it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2 and 3 is going to happen this year in 2022? No. But
could they announce it? Could they announce it? Maybe.
It's possible. I mean, it's always possible that they could announce it.
I don't think anybody really thought they were going to announce.
If we get anything,
first
thing that's going to happen is going to be the Ayer cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know we've talked about this too, so I'm sorry for beating a dead horse. But I know a lot of people are like, first thing we need to do is get the Ayer cut, get that out. And I'm like, yeah, but what if that doesn't help us?
That's what I honestly
what if the Ayer cut is
that one to not come out first?
What if it's because I mean, I want to see it. I think it's going to be better than theatrical, but I don't think it's going to be a night and day difference like it is in Snyder Cut. Like I think
that's the script leaks for me. I was like, the dialogue's just a little, who knows, but it's not my taste.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not. I don't think it'll be better. I do. I definitely.
Zachary, we cannot blame you for asking.
We ask it every
day. If you want Snyder talk or Snyder Cut talk, come join this channel. Subscribe on this channel because that's all we want.
Keep asking.
That's
right. I know it's superficial, but I pray for it every night before I go to sleep.
Speaking of Brian, David Zaslav was in Atlanta today. Did you find him?
I jetted down there, but he had already headed back out west.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping I was going to catch him, but
we should have chartered a plane to follow him when release the Snyder restore the Snyder.
Just fly right next to his thing taking off.
Just attach it to his plane. Just follow him all the way there.
Yeah, I don't have the money for that. Maybe we could just you could have just vinyl printed a banner and we could have like got on one of those little like a scooter or something, rode by within the wind. I could go behind you and like wait, like do like this.
Brandon's got goggles on.
Get 40 miles to the gallon on this hog.
That's right. Schumacher cut. This is one that it'd be awesome to see, and it's kind of been confirmed that it's out there, and but there's, I don't know, it kind of seems to have been swept under the rug a bit for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things that will come out eventually, kind of like the Donner cut
down the road.
Superman 2.
Here's the thing: if these things, I have zero doubt in my mind that at some point the Ayer cut's going to come out, and at some point this will come out. If Hollywood has a way to make money with very little effort, they'll do it at one point.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, speaking of you trying to find Zaslav in Atlanta and being unsuccessful, some of this news was kind of hitting right when we went on last week, but as of Friday, everything kind of went official. And the Discovery merger with WB is officially official. Yeah.
Man, I was looking at all of they put up those social posts for, with the announcement of the merger with the new logo and all that. And everywhere, like Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, like everything, all the comments are just restore the Snyderverse. Like
This fandom is consistent.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Consistent and persistent.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually saw a tweet today that was like, put the Snyderverse fans on global warming. We'll have it solved in a year.
Yeah. Verify account. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a couple of those that the recent plain banner, I guess it was today or yesterday. Mm-hmm. Got a bunch of verified folks talking about it today. I don't know how, but good on them.
Yep. Yeah. So what do we reckon? We've talked about this last Tuesday, and I know that I mentioned like it's cool that some of these people are going away in terms of kind of what we want, but I'm waiting for the Toby thing to drop, and the Toby thing dropped, and it dropped in the wrong direction.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that it dropped in the wrong. I just don't think anything's happened. Like I don't think they've like committed to him staying or anything.
No, I know. Well, that's what I was kind of leading into. But yeah. I mean, that's kind of the hope. I mean, there's a lot of chatter amongst the interwebs that it's kind of a contractual thing. If they severed his contract early, they have to have this big payout, and so they're just kind of keeping him on until his contract's over.
They're just not going to renew it.
Basically, you're finding that like people are. If you're anti-Snyder, people are sticking to the story that, yep, he's there long term. If you're
pretty much
Snyder, he's like, he's gone.
I did see a Deadline
30 days.
article. I think Deadline was talking about the people that were reported to kind of stay around kind of after everything kind of shakes out, and he wasn't one of them. So who knows? But we'll see. I mean, kind of going back to...
I'm glad that Sarnoff is gone.
Yeah. I hope she returns here.
I did not like. Yeah. Yes.
It's always good to check in with her.
I just bad taste in my mouth for her behind the scenes with anything Snyder since that article. Just cold water. So
I agree. That was not fun. That was not a fun day.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I imagine, this will not be the last time we will be talking about this situation. I'm sure. Expect more ups and downs on this roller coaster that we call DC fandom.
And I know they've got some with this merger. They've got some public events coming up, and Zaslav apparently has this 100-day-ish plan that's rumored. So who knows what's going to happen as far as structure and, how they kind of tier everything in the organization. Zachary says, so all the DC content, does this mean HBO will not have comic content, or will... you have Warner Brothers Discovery app? So I think the plan is to combine the Discovery catalog and the Warner catalog under a single app.
Yeah.
And I imagine it would be kind of silly not to continue with the HBO brand. So I would imagine there may be some changes in it, but I would imagine they'll blanket everything under HBO.
That is my assumption as well. It makes sense.
Basically just dumping a whole bunch of content in there.
I think it makes the
speak of the devil.
I know. God.
Speak of the devil.
What? She's still there.
Welcome to
Arby's. Talking about
look, Ann landed on her feet. She got a great job at Arby's. That's good.
That's great.
It's one of my favorite fast food joints, so good on you.
Curly fries, Jamocha milkshake. Stellar.
Man.
She'll be running that Arby's in no time.
I know.
And then take it right to the ground.
So Six and says she'll run it to the ground.
We are no longer developing Arby's sauce. This completes the trilogy.
It's a cul-de-sac. It's a cul-de-sac. The Arby's sauce is a cul-de-sac.
We will not be pursuing roast beef in the future.
Yeah. So
America's roast beef. Yes, sir.
Thanks for dropping in, Ann.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
And we're glad to hear from you. Glad you're upbeat and everything. That's good.
Yeah.
It's had to have been a rough week.
Yeah. You couldn't have like grabbed onto like Toby's legs and pulled him with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I go down.
Yeah. I would have preferred that.
Hey, in the
what's up,
house.
Dave?
What's up, dude?
How's it going? But yeah, I mean, we'll see how this shakes out. Obviously, it's just beginning, so it's going to be a while. But you know, as far as I know that the reason why we're even talking about this is the Snyder stuff and what it means for the kind of the things that we want from this studio, so to speak, this merger, this new leadership. Hopefully, they can see that hey, there's something here. There's money to be made, and hopefully, new people coming in. There's no egos. There's no like bad blood in terms of they weren't made to look bad for not putting this thing out and not following this vision years ago. And so you've got to hope that they can see the money from the people that kind of the traffic that was, I guess, gained from HBO
and then
Max.
The thousands of dollars that Ryan spent on statues.
That's what I was getting to. All the merch continues to sell out and sell, you know, their new merch continues to pop up. And so hopefully you see that there's money to be made. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. And, you know,
and let's be honest, the community, so Restore the Snyderverse community has done a great job in recent months. Also, just with the trending stuff, with all the billboards and stuff that continues to generate conversation and the Oscars thing. And
you don't have to spend, you know, they always say you got to spend like double your budget on marketing. Don't just let us do it.
Exactly.
We'll do it for you.
Exactly.
We've always done that. So
Toby threw me under the bus. I mean, he physically threw me under the bus to save himself. Tire tracks on my suit jacket.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, Brandon calls him a cockroacha.
Yeah. He survived. He's like Taco Bell food. It'll survive the apocalypse as well.
Yeah.
Cockroaches and Taco Bell.
Hear you, Dave. I hear you.
Yes.
Unlike the positive talk.
Amen.
Indeed.
I know Jensen Ackles voiced Batman in the Long Halloween animated stuff.
And he did good. I thought he did a great job with that. But.
Yeah, I did not have any issues with the voice on that go around.
All the Zack Snyder merch. I know I sent you guys the pictures of we put up a new shelf up here, and I put all of my stuff up, and Mandy was like, "Where the hell's all my stuff gonna go?" You know? I was like, "Oh, this is for both of us," you know. And it was all Snyder stuff.
Yeah, I currently have the Weta Dark Side coming, the Nightmare Batman Weta coming, and the Superman Weta coming.
They're all what? 4th scale?
4th scale. Oh, I watched the video of that Dark Side reveal the other day, and the statue is just like as big as their like torso standing next to it.
Plus, you got the banner. You got to figure out how to integrate that.
I've got an idea.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I do not doubt it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Make sure you lock it up when I come visit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I will steal it.
Yep. I will. I sure will.
Everybody always tells me to lock them up because of the kid, but I'm like, I'm not locking them up because of the kid. I'm locking them up because of Brandon.
Yeah. It's fair. It's very fair. What's up, Tizai?
What's up?
How's it going? All right. Well, I guess there was one more thing. We kind of jumped around a little bit, but we did talk about the Batman physical release, but it's coming to HBO Max next week, so April 18th.
Nice.
And Alan,
will get to watch
get a
it.
chance to watch it. So once it's out, you're gonna have to report back.
Oh yeah, definitely. Next Tuesday on my watches of the week.
Is anybody planning? Well, besides Alan, Ryan, are you planning to rewatch it when it drops?
I'll be honest with you. I plan to rewatch the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And see how it goes, because I really did like the first 15 minutes. But I'm not like. I just remember that my experience watching that movie was very like started out super high, and then the whole movie, and then the third act.
I believe you.
And it's just, I don't know, it's 3 hours of something. If I have no problem with runtime on movies if it's something I'm super into, but
obviously,
I don't know, 3 hours is something that I'm I don't know, wasn't over the moon about. I'm not super excited to revisit just yet, but
yeah, I don't have a lot of motivation to watch it just yet, but I'm excied to see what Alan thinks. Hopefully we haven't ruined you. Hopefully you can go into it.
Oh,
with
you
an open
guys
mind.
you guys have duked all over that thing. You know, like, I have very low expectations walking in.
Look, man,
I might love it just because. You know,
we said it in our
because
review. I don't want
to be so terrible.
I don't want it to come across that we hated the movie.
Yeah,
at least for me, I didn't hate it. It was just like I've got very high expectations for this stuff. And it just kind of felt like and the way Brandon describes it is accurate. It's kind of try hard, not kind of try hard. It was very try hard.
I'm sure. I'm sure there are plenty of enjoyable parts. I'll watch.
Enjoy the first 15 minutes.
It's the other 2 hour, 45 minute ish.
Yeah,
it gets you,
especially the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, but you know. To each their own. Obviously, we're in the minority there, so we don't. I know that we kind of rain on the Batman parade a lot. We try not to, but we have. You know, I know Nani and a few others in our chat enjoyed it. So
nice, Dave. Hope you enjoy it. Cool. And I suffer from PTSD, post-traumatic Zack Snyder disorder. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse haunts me in my nightmares to see it as a gift.
I'm glad to hear that, and
yeah,
very glad to hear it.
Yeah, you could have done something about it too, but
yeah, your fault.
Right. Yep. You could have been the hero. That's all I'm saying. You could have been the hero of this whole thing.
That's right.
And does need a drink. All right. Marvel stuff. Got a few things, both Doctor Strange related. But press is starting to come out on that as it's kind of ramping into release. But there's a little tidbit about some horror element as we kind of hoped would be the case. Sam Raimi taking the reins, and that's cool to see. I mean, I always think back to when I think about Sam Raimi and his comic book stuff, the Spider-Man stuff, obviously. I always go back to Spider-Man 2, the Doc Ock scene in the morgue area, I guess. Or whatever it is. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. We'll get to. I guess we can go ahead and. Well, I'll ask you guys as far as. How do you? I know Moon Knight is going to come into the conversation later in terms of more mature subject matter. How do you think this movie will be treated? Because both of these installments will have been directed by a quote unquote horror director, with Scott Derrickson doing the first Strange, and then Sam Raimi doing this one. What's your expectations in terms of like pushing the envelope? Do you think that we're going to see? I mean, obviously, they're hinting at the kind of like what if zombie type stuff from the Disney Plus angle that was introduced there. There's a lot of things to mine here from this whole multiverse of madness
Mhm.
angle. Do you feel like we're going to see, like, I know we talked about trailers and things, like we feel like hopefully they're just like holding a lot of stuff back.
Yeah.
And do you feel like there's going to be like some sort of like pushing the envelope on the Marvel standpoint of things? Like, do you see that being the case here from what you've seen so far? Or do you kind of get the vibe that it may be a little more, safe?
Or go ahead, Al. You go first.
I don't know. I mean, the stuff that we've seen in the trailers, and this could be the extent of the creepy stuff that they put out, where they push the envelope on the zombie stuff. But I don't know. I mean, what I see in the trailers, it looks pretty gnarly. So it's definitely piqued my interest a little bit. I know the Doctor Strange zombie, looks pretty creepy, but Scarlet Witch, Wanda, when it shows her busting through the doors, she looks pretty grotesque, so I'm anxious to see that's the thing. Like it's so cut up, these trailers, you have no idea what context any of that even is. Like you don't know if this is just a different universe or if it's something that happens at the time. Like I don't know. I don't know. It wouldn't tell me.
I don't know. I think that this has a chance to be to push the envelope for sure, just with Raimi's involvement. I hope they give him a little bit more leash. And we'll talk about it. We're going to be reviewing the second and third episodes of Moon Knight this week. But the second episode of Moon Knight, I was really hoping that the show is going to be darker than it is.
Yeah.
And the trailers kind of made me feel like it was going to be darker than it is.
Mm-hmm.
And now two episodes in, it kind of feels Disney Plus, very Disney Plus-ish. It's like Marvel-ish. But so I don't know. It's another one of those times, like I keep waiting for him to like do something that's a little bit more edgy. Like, and I loved Infinity War when they went like kind of the next mile, and everybody was like, did they really just do that? But I just they seem to be playing pretty safe with a lot of this stuff. So I don't know. I'm hopeful, but I'm not optimistic, I guess, with this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel the same way, and that's why I kind of try to tie in the whole like Moon Knight thing, because we haven't talked about it yet amongst each other as far as the latest episode, and we'll be doing that after the show and release a solo video about it. But
comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, that was going to be a litmus test for me as far as what Marvel was capable of doing in terms of like moving more into that horror, dark genre vibe. And there's elements of that. It kind of toes a line here and there, but for the most part, it kind of falls back on its, what's familiar.
Yeah.
It's physically, like it's visually dark.
Yeah. I hope that they do that I hope that they are able to push the envelope with Strange. And like I think we talked about this last week. I do feel pretty confident that they're holding a lot of stuff back in the marketing. And
if Spider-Man is any indication too, like
they're,
I'm sure.
So even though there's not a lot of stuff in the marketing that's like, holy crap, I can't wait to see this. I do want to see it because I am very interested to see what they do with the concept, at least, and to see Sam Raimi tackle a big project like this. That interests me as well. So, but speaking of, there was a little featurette that dropped yesterday, or I think, kind of teasing up more multiverse stuff. Not showing anything, but hinting and showing a little more of the visual flair that's always been like, for me, is the thing that kind of sold me on the first one, was just the crazy like acid trippiness of a lot of the strange visuals, and that's kind of what has always drawn me to Doctor Strange as a character, at least how they've portrayed him in this universe. So seeing that kind of paired up with Scarlet Witch, there's a lot of things in play that could be really cool. And then, they've kind of shown, the dynamic with Scarlet Witch and her kids having something to do in this. And so there could be some good emotional stuff to pull from.
Yeah.
But
I am interested in rewatching the first one. I haven't seen that in forever. Just to, if anything, just for a refresher on kind of his relationship with Rachel McAdams and
and there was a lot of stuff that I felt fell flat in WandaVision, but one of the things that I did like was that aspect, especially one of the as a parent, that last when she's fixing to lose her kids, because she knows they're not real, like that kind of thing there, that was one of the more emotional pulls that they had on the whole show, you know what I mean, like so I'm interested to see where they go with that as well.
So we'll see. What, next month, May 6th. So if you haven't got your tickets, they're on sale. I haven't got mine.
I'm gonna try and see this one opening weekend if possible. So
like I say, it's mainly it's our
if anything,
wedding, it's our wedding anniversary on the 7th. So anniversary date.
If anything, I just don't want to I don't want to be spoiled on a bunch of stuff on the internet.
That's true.
Exactly.
But
it is true.
Dave said they need to do Punisher with Bernthal on screen. Man,
obviously,
I don't know after with Moon Knight. I just don't know how they would do it any justice.
I still feel like they're still going to hold back on the Disney Plus stuff for the most part. I think
that's what I mean.
We stand a better chance in theaters than we do. I didn't know if he meant on screen as in on the big screen or on the small screen. You know what I mean? Like I'd love to see him get his own movie, but
yeah, he's perfect for that character.
I wouldn't mind seeing Disney Plus actually develop some movie stuff. 'Cause I tend to all these shows tend to kind of feel like they kind of catch their stride 4 or 5 episodes in. I wouldn't mind seeing them try to do some Disney Plus movies.
Yeah, and I mean, I would love to see them like you guys were talking about. I'd love to see them push some boundaries, because I mean, they did put in those parental blocks now, they have no reason to hold back now.
I'm just waiting for them to do Deadpool and just make it PG-13 and still put it under the adult section.
Could be the case. I mean,
I like to think Ryan Reynolds would not be down with that, but who knows?
Yeah,
I think seeing that he did the PG-13 one of Deadpool 2. It seems like he's open to it.
And like I said, in my personal opinion, it was 1,000 times better than actual Deadpool 2.
1,000 times better.
1 billion times better. But no, it really was. I love that movie. Cal and I have watched it several times.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's cool. Very cool. All right. One little tiny bit of Star Wars stuff I thought was interesting. James Gunn was kind of talking about Rogue One the other day and talking about how underrated it is. And I was just curious what your guys is, because I never really thought it was an underrated movie.
This is not one I would say it's underrated. People tend to like this movie, especially over the last few years. It's kind of stock raised and appreciated more.
I mean, I remember Force Awakens came out. Hype was just palpable.
Yeah.
Like everybody seemed was loving Force Awakens, and then Rogue One was the next year. Same thing.
Yeah.
People were even lauding it as the best Star Wars movie, and some people still do.
It's,
So I've never gotten the vibe that it's underrated or people weren't into it or anything like that. Maybe people have forgotten about it. Could be the case.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I just don't think underrated's the right word. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's not watched enough, or
That's what I was fixing to say. It kind of got that, you know, it was released during the closing of the Skywalker saga, you know, so there was, you know, I guess maybe it got lost in the shuffle afterwards.
And also, let's be honest, people watch Star Wars for lightsabers. And there's that one sequence at the end, but
the very end. This
is not a.
I mean, you have for me, you have Empire Strikes Back and then Rogue One. Rogue One's my second favorite. I love that movie. It is by far one of my favorites.
It's a great movie. I enjoy it.
And I love it because it doesn't have the lightsaber. I love it because it was really one of the first times you saw a different Star Wars story. You know what I mean? Like,
it's probably the more adult of the Star Wars movies because there's not a lot of kid-oriented things in it. I watched it with Luna after we'd watched pretty much everything, and it was the one that held her attention the least. So, but I really did enjoy
that
it.
Right there is probably part of it. Like, kids make up a huge part of Star Wars fandom, and like parents rewatching movies, I'm sure it's a huge part of it. Kids being into it. And I doubt this would be one that kids gravitate towards.
Yeah. Well, because the droid, you know, K2SO is not a very like kid-oriented droid. He's very, you know, he's kind of a curmudgeon, kind of sarcastic. There's not a lot of humor that comes with him. Yeah, it is Al's favorite movie. Star Wars movie.
Me and Al are connecting on all sorts of different ways now.
Don't confuse Dave.
I know Dave's gonna be so confused now.
What's up, Henry boy?
Yeah, and that's another instance of, you know, Gareth Evans. I always get them confused, Evans or Edwards. I think it's Evans. You know, he kind of got the movie taken away from him, but played ball with them, and they did a lot of you know, third act reshooting, and a lot of the trailers. There's a lot of scenes that didn't make it in the final cut. I think this is kind of where it started with Lucasfilm not trusting their directors, because after that, and then obviously with Last Jedi, they were like, oh, and then, you know, saw what happened with Solo and other directors departing and getting fired and yada, yada, yada. But that's another instance of like, I really do love Rogue One. I still think it's a great movie, despite it being kind of reshuffled there at the end. But I still would like to see what else what they were originally doing, because you know, there's a lot of things in some of the behind the scenes featurette where you see characters that were supposed to die before they ended up dying in the film, and you know, that TIE fighter sequence of her on the like the kind of catwalk area, that kind of that like really cool like button scene that they had on that initial trailer that was like, holy crap, how does this even shake out? It wasn't in the movie. So so yeah, there's still stuff that I would love to see. I don't think we will ever, but so
there's not Snyder like fans pushing for that.
Well, and it's just not something that Lucasfilm or did. I just don't see them ever doing it, period.
And I mean, the movie was well received. There's no need for them to put out, you know, this version. You know, everybody loved that one. You know.
Yep.
Since Al's here, let's talk about some Zack Snyder stuff.
Yeah, let's get him out of here. Get out of here, Al. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon added some more to the cast. Corey Stoll and Carrie Elways. Is it Elways, or I don't really know how to pronounce Elways.
I don't know.
But I love Carrie Elways. Obviously, there's there's Princess Bride, Men in Tights. I mean, Saw the first Saw, if you were into that. Liar, Liar.
The claw is gonna get you.
And then Corey Stoll's good too. Sorry, Dad.
I don't want your
I
laugh.
don't want your laugh.
But yeah, just another little bit of casting. It seems like a lot of people feel like they're going to be villain roles, possibly. Definitely Corey Stoll. He's always typically a villain.
Yeah,
He's just got that.
That would be
face.
weird. It would be weird to see him not be.
Yeah,
He just looks like a guy you want to punch. You know, like he just looks like a bad guy. You know.
and I could definitely see Elway's doing a villain, especially like I could see him doing that like Imperial officer type role.
Yeah,
that you feel like they're definitely gonna have that because this is kind of a Star Wars type story.
The snobby creep, like.
Yep. So I'm here for it, and that Zach teased some pre-production. I think they're doing some test shooting right now, and I think production's supposed to start next week. So Vero's about to be pretty active with lots of behind-the-scenes stuff, I imagine. He's
single-handedly keeping that.
I know,
keeping that going.
Yeah, that's true. So cool. Any other comments on that? It's not really a lot to glean from it.
I'm pretty pumped. Like I said, I saw some of the post-production, some of the photos and stuff that have been leaked out. Looks pretty cool. And Henry Boy was right. I loved him as the villain in Ant-Man. I loved him as Yellow Jacket in that. So yeah.
If I'm being honest, I just like I'm interested in this just so I like Zach's stuff, but I'm just like, restore the Snyderverse. Like, what are you doing? Just WB, get it together. Zach, go do it.
Yeah, I know. I get it, but I am excited to see this. So, since we're not going to be able to make any movement on that for a while anyway, I'm excited that he's doing something.
It looks like they're going to be filming 2 movies at once, if the reports are true. So that's pretty cool. Yep. It's shocking that somebody's going to let him just do his vision. He's going to get to do it.
It's probably 1 movie, and then he was like, "Well, it's got to be this long. We'll make 2 movies then."
They're like, "Wow,
that's fine."
He's like, "It's got to be a minimum 6 hours." That's what I'm.
And Netflix has been doing this with their series a lot lately, as far as like breaking them up into parts and releasing them months apart. I could see them doing that with this instead of us having to wait years to see both parts. I could see them. Stranger Things is going to be coming out in over 2 holidays this year, so I can see them doing that too with this. And I remember that being like the cool thing. Like, I don't think we've seen that since like The Matrix, the 2 sequels that came after the first one. Like, they released them within the same fiscal year. So it'll be cool. So a couple of things real quick. Sonic 2 came out this past weekend and had the biggest debut for a video game based movie.
Go watch Brandon's review.
Yeah, go watch it.
It's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff.
So I think it made like 71 million domestically over the weekend. And I don't think I talked about this in the review, but they are definitely, priming this for sequels.
If it makes that kind of money. You're right there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where Paramount doesn't really have franchises anymore. Transformers is really it. That's Mission Impossible, but it kind of feels like it's kind of, nearing the end. I would expect to see, more. I think they're doing a Knuckles TV show. I think we've actually talked about that possibly, but I had forgotten about it until I saw an article about this and the spinoff for Knuckles and sequels and stuff like that. And so they're gonna try and milk it for as much as they can. So it's not surprising. It's good to see things making money at the box office. So
no doubt.
And speaking of things in the box office and anticipations and things like that, it seems like WB is kind of holding back on greenlighting a 4th Fantastic Beast to see how it does financially before moving forward with another one.
This was supposed to be a 3-movie thing.
No, so after the first Fantastic Beast came out, they greenlit 4 sequels to this.
Oh wow,
gotcha.
and then they retooled Fantastic Beasts 3 after kind of Fantastic Beasts 2 was like kind of they've gotten kind of more meddling as they've progressed, and so that's why you see so much. That's why you see so much Hogwarts in this one, because they're like, all right, we got to get back to the basics.
Yeah. This is all checking out. Michael Keaton got it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds. Yep.
There's your leadership. So honestly, I don't think this movie's going to do very well. I think you're going to get some, the usuals.
The second one was really bad.
Yeah,
it's not good.
This one looks better, but the bridge has kind of been burnt so badly that I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even see the second one in theaters because I didn't really care for the first one. Yeah. And I did see it on home video, but I've only watched it once. Don't care to see it again.
We give an audience score on Rotten Tomatoes of 54% on a big picture like this. It's not good.
In the Harry Potter universe, it's definitely not good. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's like printing money. Like that you can't get a score like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean the embargoes have kind of dropped, and most of the stuff that I've seen is like it's the best one so far of this franchise, but it's still not great. Like that's kind of been the vibe that I've gotten. So I don't know.
Like it's already rotten.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's but we'll see. We'll see how the public.
We love Rotten Tomatoes.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, if it's rotten, I might like it. I don't know.
Oh, I always.
I like it.
Hell, I like it.
Whenever there's a low rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm always like, it could be as good as BVS.
Could be good. Yeah. We'll see.
Rotten, you
Ryan,
say?
You're seeing it. What? You're seeing it this weekend, right?
I think we'll try and make it happen. It depends on Easter stuff, but yeah, we'll end up seeing it here soon.
Gotcha. Well, so you let us know how that goes.
Yeah. I think I told you, Katie. After the second one, she was like, "I'm out. I'm done with these. It's garbage." She's a huge Potter fan, book Potter fan.
Yeah.
And then she saw the trailer for this one, and she like all of a sudden got interested in it, which surprised me. So I'm interested to see what she thinks.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, as far as like, I gravitate to the Hogwarts stuff, so that angle interests me.
Yeah.
But that's really the only thing that I'm connecting with in these trailers. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it feels more in line with the things that I like from the Potter universe, but I don't know. It's all the adults. It doesn't feel whimsical or magical. It just doesn't feel like the things that I enjoy about this franchise. Yeah, so right. I'd rather. That's why I prefer. Obviously, I mean, the Potter centric stuff is just.
So I was actually Katie and one of her good friends. They're kind of like grew up reading these books together, so they're always talking about this stuff, Potter stuff, and they were talking. We had a lunch with them last week, 2 weeks ago. And I know, Brandon, you asked me whether Katie was going to start playing video games. But they started talking about this game, and now we're going to get this game so they can play it. So
it looks great.
Yeah, it really does.
And I'm typically a little gun shy when it comes to very open world games.
I love them. They're great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, I know that your generation,
Old Republic, baby.
Yeah, I think your generation kind of grew up in that. I didn't as much. I was more of a straightforward linear narrative guy. But yeah, despite that, I'm super interested, and then a lot of that has to do with my kid. She saw it, and as soon as she saw the character creator, she was like, "We got to get this." I was like, "Okay, I know." I figured that was going to hook her. She loves that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it looks really. Besides that, it just looks super fun. So I'm excited to play it. All right. Anything else on that front? Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts. It's only a matter of time before we get that cursed child
Yeah,
adaptation.
that's where I'm kind of holding out on that one because I'm telling you, dude, that play was awesome. So I want to see the movie.
Yeah. Indeed. Trailers. Really only one trailer this week. Ryan, I know you're trailer averse typically. Maybe you saw this, maybe you didn't. Alan, I know you did because you sent it to the group.
Yeah.
Stranger Things 4. Released their second trailer.
Dude.
I think I've told you, Brandon, my kind of steam has run out on this show. But this trailer was pretty awesome.
Yes, it
this
was.
character right here is pretty much the reason for it being awesome for me.
I mean, that was one of the best cut trailers I've seen in a very long time. Like, it's very rare that a trailer like keeps me hooked through the whole thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I was just like,
song choice in
crap, dude. Yeah, it was perfect. Yeah.
The guitar playing part of it, I was like, is this what is apparently that's Robert England.
Okay.
That character. So it's like, all right, that's interesting.
It reminded me of Teen Titans Go, where they like go and battle the metal gods or whatever. That's what it reminded me of. I was like, okay,
what
cool.
Is it, Night to
the night begins to shine or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Journey song was
Yeah.
I told Mandy because I had watched it at work today. Very productive day at work. You know, watched this a few times, but I got home and as soon as
high flow situations.
It's good. As soon as Mandy got to the house, that was the first thing. I was like, "Sit your ass down. You gotta watch this." You know, and she hates watching trailers. So, and she was even,
nice.
excited when that was over with. So, definitely can't wait.
Yeah, and I've only seen season 3 once, but I really enjoyed it. Especially coming off of season 2, which I was like, oh, it's fine, but I preferred season 3 over 2. So I'm excited to go back and rewatch season 3 going into this one, and just seeing kind of like remembering kind of where things left off in the last one based on this trailer, with a few characters and specifically Hopper. And I don't remember the girl's name who's Billy's sister. But I mean, I'm a sucker for this franchise. It is like made for me specifically, it feels like. So I'm obviously really excited. But it looks great. Like I said, song choice is perfect. The narration from that character, I assume it's the character at the end. They always kind of do this, like, they kind of pick a different like horror genre to kind of mime throughout the season.
Yeah.
And, this one seems like there may be some like Amityville stuff.
That's a little bit. I got with the house.
And, we'll see. But it looks rad.
Seems like I know that I've talked about it before, and I know that we have a friend, David, who's not a huge Ernest Cline fan, but the reason that I get into his books is because of the nostalgia, and that's what Stranger Things does for me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right back to my childhood. So I'm like,
but it's also I've just come to love these characters, and so I'm just excited, and I love that they're breaking this up over 2 holiday weekends. Because I remember when season 3 came out, it came out over 4th of July, and it was just like. Went and saw, I think, and Al came over to the house. We just binged like 4 episodes back to back, and it was a lot of fun. And so and I think they announced that each episode is going to be over an hour each. So that was cool.
Yeah,
so
I can't wait.
Yeah, and it's not the final season. It is they tease that every end has a beginning, and so this is the setup for what will be the final 5th season. So, I'm stoked. I didn't get to watch this until right before we started recording because I've been busy with work stuff all day. So so it's still a little fresh for me.
But I like Ryan was saying, I wasn't burnt out. I just had been waiting so long that it's one of those shows that you kind of forget it's coming, and then that I just happened to.
And it's been so long since the 3rd season.
Oh yeah,
came out,
and I just clicked. I went on Twitter, right before lunch, and I was like, ooh. So I put my my AirPods in, and I sit there at the desk, with my phone in my lap, and I was like, whoa, that's good stuff.
I mean, it'll be what, 3 years since the third season?
Long time for sure.
Yeah. These kids are not kids anymore.
still not the Flash and Black Adam level, but it's been a while.
It's true.
Yeah.
Very true. All right. Okay. Any watches of the week, Alan? You're typically up first.
Again, we've been watching Spider-Man the animated series. Been enjoying that. Daredevil's on the last episode that we were watching. We ended up having to stop it because we were going to CiNEMACHiNE, so we didn't get to finish it. But good stuff. Like I said, it's been a really fun rewatch. Cal is like so vested in this show. I don't have the heart to tell him that it's a very short run and it's going to be done. So I'll just let him figure it out when the time comes, And then, like I said, we bought. I had pre-ordered the steelbook for Spider-Man No Way Home, and it showed up on Sunday. So Cal just thought it was cool that we were watching it on physical media, 2 days before most people in the United States were. So that was cool.
Yeah, I'm interested.
How was the rewatch?
Oh, dude, this movie's it felt just like it did when we watched it in the theater. I mean, and it could have been that I was feeding off of Cal's energy as well, because we knew that these characters were coming, and it's still, there was like tear up moments when you're watching it. It's really cool. So I, by far, the best of the Tom Holland series, obviously, but it's definitely within my top 2 or 3 of all 9 Spider-Man movies, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah, or 8. Sorry, 9, 8 Spider-Man movies. Yeah, that, and then Young Justice, Phantoms, still trucking along with that one. Starting to feel a little like a CW show where I've just been watching it so long that I got to keep going with it. But I'm trying, and so I don't really have much to say about it. Other than that, I'm watching it.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's out. And then Moon Knight. We'll talk about that later.
Sure. Yeah. Ryan? Nothing?
Moon Knight.
Just
That's
Moon
it.
Knight? Okay.
Yeah.
So really the only thing that I've tracked on, I haven't watched the latest Halo episode. I'm behind on that, so I don't have anything to say about that yet. But I did watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2 this weekend with the fam, and I did a review solo by myself. That was fun. It was terrible. I hated it. But I did it.
It's a good review. Good review.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like
solid stuff.
So yeah, if you're interested in that, check out my review. I'll just say if you got kids, they'll love it. If you don't have kids, your mileage may vary on it. So I was it was okay for me. But my kids enjoyed it, so I watched it through their eyes. My kid enjoyed it, my nephew. Sonic, the first one, is better to me. So watch that one, Nani, if you like it. Then it's got things. There's fun to be had. There's definitely rewarding things from it, but it doesn't. Some of the things they just kind of fall short in comparison to the first one. Not that the first one's like high art, but it turned out better in my opinion than the second one. So. And then we kind of mentioned this, but all 3 of us, we all have watched the latest episode of Moon Knight, episode 2. Mm-hmm. And we'll be doing a little rapid review.
Yep, that'll be out tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have a review out for episode 3 on Friday.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Stay tuned. I know you guys are all waiting on bated breath.
Yeah, dude. Our first one, I looked at it earlier and I was like, Holy crap! There's like 2,000 views on that one. So even on the first one. So
That's what happens when you pay for it, Alan.
it happens. You know,
Yeah.
I was one of those views.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love watching myself. What can I say?
Who can blame you?
David Ayer.
Any
physical
media? Looking at you, Alan. You're the only one who does that lately.
I did. I like I said earlier, we went to SC Comic-Con and picked up a few things. I've only brought up a handful. I only brought well, as I mentioned, got the steel book of No Way Home, and it, I kid, it really is nice looking, and I just wish they would have had the
hired a different artist
the whole
and stuff. Me too.
Well, had all three of the Spider-Man on it. It just everybody knows it at this point.
Even the stuff they put out with
even
the stuff they put out with the three Spider-Man, the official stuff doesn't look good. Like
I was like, Boss Logic, dude, what are you doing, man? He normally kills it, and I was just like, this looks terrible. Which apparently he had some sort of eye surgery, so maybe he just couldn't see it. I don't know.
Just blind design.
He's just clicking around.
It's an interesting theory.
But I got that, and
he's this turned out pretty good.
This looks amazing. And I actually finished up my ZSJL set.
Nice.
Picked up the big bad. Then we get home and I realized that there's a different version where basically it's just him with a shirt on, and the one from the end of the movie.
Yeah,
and then there's the
you have right there, Alan.
Yeah, well, it's actually he's still listed as Darkseid. They don't refer to him as Uxas in the movie at all.
Because they're casuals.
Yeah, I know. Even Wonder Woman, she's like 4,000 years old. I'm sorry, but anyway, and then there's a
Wonder Woman. No, McFarlane Wonder Woman ZSJL.
There is not.
I didn't even know that until you mentioned that.
Yeah, but apparently, like I said, most people's complete sets have Wonder Woman 84, the McFarlane thrown in there. And I mean, I'm going to get it just so that I can have her up there with the rest of
the and
you're no longer allowed on this show.
Rebox it. I'll rebox it.
You'll have to get out some sandpaper and dull it a little bit. So the color grading matches.
But and apparently there's also
a goofy little hair flip that she has in that movie.
Yeah. It's the 80s hair that she had. Yeah. Well, there's also the flight mask Cyborg and unmasked Bruce Wayne, that I have to pick up as well.
Whole variants. That's cool.
Make it happen, man.
It's happening. Oh, it's happening, sweetheart. Yeah. But,
cool. Well, Ryan, you mentioned that you had some pre-orders from Weta.
I got some statues that are gonna come in sometime.
Yeah.
So it's what they tell me on the sites.
Yeah.
I did. I don't have it up here, but I did. I've always wanted to get there's a 10 box kind of Man of Steel limited edition Blu-ray. It's just basically the S.
Mm-hmm.
But I just never pulled the trigger on it. Finally, it was like, I'm gonna do it, so I bought it. I'll have to bring it up next time or next week. It's down the house right now, but
yeah, that was my first steel book that I ever bought was Man of Steel.
Nice.
Man of Steel steelbook. That's the first one I got.
Man of Steel book.
Yep, that was it.
Steelbook.
Hey yo, that's a good
marketing
that's a good
opportunities.
Sweet. Well, yeah, I don't have any physical media, but one day.
One day.
All right. Coming soon. Slate has not changed since last week. Doctor Strange is going to be the next one up. So that'll be in a couple weeks. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, nothing much else to say about that. Anything else, gentleman?
Don't think so.
No.
I'll do the usual plugs. Hit the subscribe button here and notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the videos we're putting out. We're on Twitter at CAPECAST Show, and we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/CiNEMACHinePod. We appreciate all the support that we get there.
Indeed.
Again, keep an eye out. Tomorrow we'll be putting out our Moon Knight episode 2 review.
We should hopefully be able to do the episode 3 one on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week we had a little snafu.
If somebody would watch it.
So we're our plan from now on is to have them out 2 days after they are released on Wednesdays. So hopefully we can hold to that.
Do our best.
But all right,
no
gentlemen.
promises.
Yeah. Until next week.
So long.
See ya.